I flew out to Indianapolis. I think maybe my first best move I made because I got back-to-back championship rings. But the greatest honor for me being there was my opportunity to play with 4 Hall of Famers. 4 Hall of Famers on one team, and I got to play with all of those guys. Our coach just went into the Hall of Fame, but I played with Mel Daniels, Roger Brown, and George McGinnis. If you don't know about them, look them up. Tremendous athletes. And the privilege and honor I had with playing with these guys was just amazing and unbelievable. Now I've got to tell you a little bit about the Afro, and then I'm going to tell you another story. Now, coming out of the service, you know, military makes you shave that hair and you got to walk around bald-headed. For 2 years I hated it. I hated the look, and my ears stuck out kind of funny. I had a funny shaped head, so I wanted to cover that up when I finally came out of the service. And the first picture I saw was a picture of Angela Davis with this big, beautiful afro. That's it. That's exactly what I'm going to be doing right there. So no more haircuts. Year goes by, the afro's getting a little bit bigger. Second year comes along. Coach calls me into practice one day. Says, hey, Darnell, I want you to go get a haircut. It's like, oh man, you know that's my identity. Why would you have me do that? So I go to the barber. And I had the barber just barely nick the ends off of the hair. And then when I came into practice the next day, I packed it way down real tight and close. So I'm walking into practice thinking, hey, coach, you know, check it out now, we all right? And he's looking, and all of a sudden he sees one strand. And he grabbed that one strand and he starts pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling. Now my afro was a little bit bigger than the basketball. So when I run down the floor, it all flow backwards. I come to a stop, it all come back forward. Coach said, that will cost you $300. If you don't get it cut this time, I'll suspend you indefinitely. So I did my math. Let's see. Went to the barber, cost me $15 for the first haircut, $300 fine, and I got to go back to the barber again for another $15. That's $330. Back then, folks, that's a lot of money coming out of a guy's pocket. But that was a new experience for me, so that after I came back, we had a very tough and strong coach, but after that last haircut, I told him, you either trade me, cut me, suspend me indefinitely, but I'm not getting a haircut ever again. And until the snow started showing up there, I was wearing it pretty good, but once I started seeing that snow, folks, it had to go. The other thing I was also being compared to as the snow came up on the hair, some of you remember the fight promoter, Don King? And they started calling and comparing me to Don King. It's like, oh no, we got to get rid of this. This has got to go. Set your goals high. Not so high that you can't reach them, but high enough that you have to work for it. And once you accomplish that, then you go and set another one, and you continue on with that. And I tell that today to all the youngsters and kids that I talk to. You've got to work at these things. It's not worth a hill of beans if you're not putting the time in. You've got to be able to put that time in and work at it. And as I end this, I would just like to say, this is how I've lived my my everyday life by. And getting by every day is not always an easy thing, but I'm going to hit you with a little poem here. It is a rhyme, reason, and remedy for everything. If there is one, try and find it. If there is none, never mind it. For the world is no rounder than your heart is round. The sky no higher than your heart is high. Peace. Thank you.
Right-handed leaper Darnell Hillman would enthrall when he was both a forward and a center in basketball. Dr. Dunk became his nickname on 5/20/72. Indiana's Darnell Hillman and George McGinnis implemented their bag of tricks. at New York's Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum, their Pacers clinched the ABA title in Game 6 on 5/12/73 at Kentucky's Freedom Hall in an ABA Finals contest. Darnell was in basketball heaven. He recorded 13 points and 7 rebounds when the Indiana Pacers won Game 7 on 6/5/77 at Portland's Memorial Coliseum. Darnell was on a quest when he won the NBA's first ever slam dunk contest. So at halftime in Game 6 of the NBA Finals, Hillman's dynamic dunks were on display. Then fans resumed watching two future Hall of Famers, the Trailblazers Bill Walton and the 76ers Dr. J. Thank you for listening.